In today's video, we're going to be reacting to the latest strange and more questionable clips that I could find on TikTok. Let's get into it.
This is one of the wildest UFO sightings I've seen in quite a while. This actually comes out of Detroit, Michigan from a couple of passengers on the bus. They looked out the window and saw, boom, this UFO literally in the sky above them. And it's almost like it wasn't meant to be seen, but was accidentally seen. Take a look at this footage. Comment below. Tell me what you think.
What the f is that? What the f is that? Oh, we're not moving? What the f? What the f is that?
Probably one of the hardest to debunk UFO sightings I've seen. It looks real, and the interactions with the people sound real as well. If that was an alien spacecraft, it forgot it was supposed to be a secret. Please let me know what you guys think that was in the comments.
Okay, major breaking news. It actually happened. The House of Representatives just overwhelmingly voted in favor of releasing the Epstein files. It was a massive 427 in favor and 1 against. Only 1. So that was Congressman Clay Higgins of Louisiana, who is a staunch ally of Donald Trump. Only 1. That's rough. Now, five members did choose to not vote. Now, technically, the only thing stopping these from being released now is the Senate, because it should go to Donald Trump, and he said, you know, that he wants to sign it off and get this out into the public. So all eyes on your senators, because if they don't vote in favor, especially after the president and the House voted overwhelmingly, gonna have some explaining to do. Ain't no way we're gonna get the Epstein files before the end of the year. That would be crazy. Keep you guys updated.
Hey, that Clay Higgins is kind of looking a little suspicious. But in my opinion, the files have probably been so heavily modified that they're now finally comfortable with releasing them. That would be my guess. Because why not just release them right away? Why do all of these theatrics and then finally, after months and months, to release it? At this point, they're probably not even the Epstein files. They're probably just called the revised files. Who knows? I guess we'll see.
Have you seen these robots that are like doing chores for you in the house?
Yes, but I didn't believe it.
They're 100% real. $20,000. You could buy them right now, and they show up
and they do all your chores.
They do laundry, they do dishes, they do vacuuming, mopping, all this stuff. The only catch is that the robot is ran via someone else in the country.
Nope. Nah, dude.
Working with a VR headset somewhere else
controlling
in the whole world.
Robot.
Anybody that could afford a $20,000 robot would not want somebody knowing what the inside of their house is.
That's what I'm saying. But I wonder if they're like, you get it, and then eventually it'll be AI.
That's their promise. We don't have the technology right now, but later on, we hope to get that technology that where it has house mapping and it's able to do it by itself. My first thought was like stalkers. Stalkers would apply to be like the robot in your house.
Yeah, it's like you would have to show me proof that there's a firewall, that this robot cannot download violence into his robot brain and wake up one day and just be doing this to you while you're sleeping in bed and choking you to death.
But they would know where you live. They would know the inside of your house. They would know all your privacy.
I just feel like that's not going to fly unless you did it for like $100, which is impossible. Like.
But it's happening.
I think a lot of people will be open to it, though. You know, it'd be really fun.
100% normal now.
Is to buy one of these robots and just like put it just like in a haunted house.
Oh my God!
I need you to sweep this whole house. It's like the scariest thing for
Give
this person.
Crucifix and holy water.
Oh my God,
dude!
Put it on a roller coaster.
This is what I need you to do.
I need you to do this for me.
He's just vomiting up in his home in Korea.
I personally do like the idea of having a robot to do basic household chores, but I do not like the idea of someone being able to monitor what that robot's doing that's not myself. Now, if they give me the access to strap on a headset and control the robot and teach it how to do things, I'm kind of fine with that. I mean, $20,000 is a little bit out of my price range right now, but for $20,000, having a robot that really cannot do anything by itself without someone remote viewing and controlling what it does, that's a bit much. And I can already see see a future where they'll have government-assisted robots, where the government will provide their own robot to household families, or disabled people or people of need, and the robots will just monitor everything, so no one's personal business will be personal anymore. The government at that point would have full visual knowledge of everything that's going on in that home. I could definitely see something like that happening. It'll end up being another way for the government to keep eyes on you. Hey, if you haven't done so already and you're enjoying the show, give it a like. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I upload a video like this every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. And for everyone that's watching and or subscribed, thank you so much for supporting the channel. And also, if there's any clips out there that you would like for me to react to, please feel free to share them to my Discord. A link to my server is in the description.
Scary games you should never play, and this is the cat scratch game. The game is simple and only requires 2 players. Player 1 must lay on the floor with their head resting on player 2's lap. Whilst rubbing player 1's temples, player 2 must say out loud this story. There once was an old lady who owned a cat. The cat was very nice. It meowed and purred. One day the cat got hit by a car and died. Cat scratch, cat scratch, cat scratch. The old lady got a new cat. This cat was very mean. It hissed and clawed. Cat scratch, cat scratch, cat scratch. One day the cat got hit by a car and died. The old lady decided not to get any more cats. Cat scratch, cat scratch, cat scratch. Once player 2 is finished, both players must then stand up and pull up player 1's shirt. If the game has worked, then player 1 will be covered in claw marks.
Where people come up with this kind of stuff, I have no idea, but it's definitely not a game for me. I'm more of a dog person.
NASA's just cut its live stream when a mysterious object floats into frame. Look at the top. You guys tell me what you see, and I'll talk to you in just a moment.
Absolutely. I will not do anything inside the work volume. There you go. Thanks for the heads up.
Excellent config. You're very welcome. And just to kind of smooth things over when we do come back to you, you'll be on space to ground 3 for your ops today with Shankini.
Agree with Shankini. Thanks.
Look at the state of this object, bruv, right? Giant triangle Dorito looking at our thing, right? Now notice, whatever this is, I have no idea, but I'm only speculating, but it looks triangular in nature, and you can see the stars kind of morphing just behind it as it moves, you know? It's like translucent almost, right? Dorito, very delicious. What do you guys think? Let me know down below.
I cannot find the original video that they're referencing as this being a live NASA clip, so I cannot prove that this is a true video or not. But if it is, that looked like some burning debris or something falling or on fire. And I really wish I would have come up with the Dorito joke. That was actually a pretty good one. But if anyone has any information as to where I can find the original clip or validate that this is actually something from NASA, please let me know in the comments.
Attention Mall World people, have you ever been to this location? The cafeteria. Does that look familiar to you at all? This is my attempt at drawing it, and then this is the AI recreation of that drawing. Does this look familiar in any way? This is a very creepy vibe in Mall World. There's a very institutionalized feeling. People have these weird tracksuits on. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because I have more information potentially about what's going on there and how it connects to things in the real world, and I need to know if anyone else knows what I'm talking about before I share it.
I have never experienced the mall world before. I have talked to some people on some of my previous videos when referencing mall world, And these people say that they've actually had dreams of being in malls or certain schools and have never heard of this before until they watched one of these clips showing it. So there is people out there that are experiencing this mall world or school world in their dreams. I personally do not get enough sleep to have dreams, so it's unfortunate. I would actually like to experience this stuff because I would probably try to explore it if possible. But for anyone that's new watching this channel and seeing this, are you familiar with mall world? Have you dreamed about it? Are you more familiar with it, or is this your first time hearing about it? And what do you think that it could be if it is a real place?
Psychics who have solved crimes. In 1977, detectives actually reached out to a well-known psychic known as Nancy Meyer. Even though they were skeptical, they were getting desperate. There was a serial rapist who was terrorizing a small town in Delaware. It began as a test for Nancy at the beginning. The police gave her a few clues and they wanted to see what she would do, and she did in fact pull out some details that weren't actually there for the public to see. She was then taken to a victim's home where she actually added on details to a portrait sketch that was made by the victim. As they were leaving, the victim shook Nancy's hand, and as she did, Nancy experienced flashbacks of the attack happening. Nancy then claimed that she could see the guy responsible. She told the police that he was wearing a uniform. The uniform was navy blue and it was almost faded. After leaving, Nancy went into a trance-like state. She began running to the top of the street, but she stopped at the street corner. In fact, this was something that was happening every time Nancy went to one of these victims' homes. Almost as if she was hunting for the direction or the place that he came from, but always ending up in exactly the same spot. Police then took Nancy to one of the spots that one of the attacks actually happened. She was immediately drawn to a telephone and she told the police he used that telephone alongside yellow pages. The FBI then immediately lifted the prints from these items. She then asked the police to take her back to the street corner that she kept running to. But this time she carried on. She went a little bit further. In fact, she walked all the way to an apartment block. She said to the police he doesn't live here, but he visits this house every single day. So the police, of course, did some investigating, and it turns out there was a guy who was visiting that apartment every single day. He was on a work release program from jail. His physical description matched exactly what Nancy had said. And not only that, his uniform was navy blue. In fact, everything that Nancy had said was true. The prints from the telephone did belong to him. All 6 victims actually identified this man, who was then issued with 150 years in prison. Nancy was then praised for her work and she was officially given the title as psychic detective. Nancy then continued her work with the police. In fact, she worked on over 700 cases. 90% of them 700 cases have now been solved.
I have heard about Nancy Myers and looked her up a couple of times now. It is very, very, very impressive on how many cases she did help solve. Psychic or whatever it may be, she is really good at what she does. And it would be really handy if we had more people of that level of expertise. It really does seem like a true superpower. Kind of makes me think that there is probably a lot of people out there in the world that do have gifts like that, and that there's secret services that are probably collecting those people and having them work for them. That would be my guess. That's like some Stranger Things type stuff.
We went to the Parthenon today
in Nashville.
I saw this one picture though, and it had the Parthenon, but there's like weeds growing all around it. I'm like, that's weird. Like, how old is this thing? It was built in 1897 for the Tennessee Centennial and International Exposition.
Okay.
So I'm looking up all these old pictures. I'm like, this is wild. There's like a pyramid built right where the Parthenon is.
What?
That's crazy.
This is Tartaria all over again.
This is a theory. They say that all these buildings around the Parthenon, including the Parthenon, were built as temporary for this fair. So they were only erected for 1 year, then torn down.
That's insane.
And it's like,
why?
So the theory is that it's this like Tartarian civilization. Like the Parthenon pre-existed, but like the same architecture as like Washington, D.C., over in Europe. Like it's been this one civilization that was at some point all over the world, the Tartarian civilization, and then this massive mud flood happened and it wiped these people out, and that these people in Nashville found the Parthenon and they dug it up And they're like, this is crazy. We need to make this into something.
That's pretty wild.
Just weird though.
That like the big like Capitol building looking thing and all that. That's
I know. Isn't
strange
that
that
weird?
I don't understand why
They
you
said that
would
was
tear it
a
down.
temporary building for 1 year that thing was built.
But why not like repurpose it for anything? You could anything you want to.
Anything.
Make it a trampoline park, dude. Whatever.
Well, from my understanding, if those old buildings that were made temporarily were made out of a material called staff, which has some cement in it, but it's not really that durable, those buildings would not have lasted very long for long-term use. And the next thing that I would have to question with it being possibly Tartarian is why would they tear it down to hide the past when they supposedly have all these other old Tartarian structures? Why those specific ones? Why not just keep them around and label them as something totally different? And then on top of it all, keep the photos of when they did exist, just to have people question it. So when I think of it like that, it makes it more difficult to believe in a Tartaria cover-up conspiracy. Please, by all means, feel free to share your thoughts about Tartaria or why you think that what I'm saying is incorrect. Because again, at the end of the day, I truly do not know. I'm just sharing the thoughts that come to my mind on the subject.
RIP cavities, because scientists just found a way to regrow tooth enamel. To the best of my knowledge, that's never been done before. It's basically the holy grail of dental science. And we can fix cavities like these by simply allowing your teeth to regrow in some capacity. So this comes from scientists at the University of Nottingham School of Pharmacy and Department of Chemical and Environmental Engineering. And what they managed to invent is a protein-based gel, which importantly contains no fluoride. This isn't just a simple fluoride solution, that can be quickly applied to teeth using the same methods that dentists already use for regular fluoride. And this new material imitates the natural proteins responsible for guiding enamel formation in early life. So once in place, the gel forms a thin, durable coating that seeps into the tooth surface, filling in cracks and imperfections, thus repairing the enamel on your teeth. Acting as a structural framework, it draws calcium and phosphate ions from saliva to encourage the precise growth of new minerals through a process known as excipitation mineralization. I probably didn't say that quite right, but it's interesting because this has applications beyond simple enamel repair. They believe it can create hypersensitivity, or as they say, the bonding of dental restorations. That's dental surgery. We've got one image of this working. It's basically a microscopic image of teeth, with the one on the left being a tooth that has its enamel worn down, and the one on the right being a similarly demineralized tooth after 2 weeks of treatment. You can see the crystals regrowing. But this is insane. This is just huge. They talk about, 50% of the world's population has some degree of tooth decay. Enamel doesn't naturally regenerate. Once you lose it, it's gone forever. That's why most current dental products use fluoride as a way to try to maintain the teeth that you already have. And this is just pretty impressive. It also holds up to regular brushing, eating, chewing, and things like that. So you don't have to not use your mouth during the treatment.
I'll be really interested to see the long-term effects of this, to see what people have to say about it, to see if there's any side effects, because this is something that I would probably be even interested in. Now, I'm sure if you have a cavity that's fully eaten out your tooth, it's not going to repair that. But if you have early developing cavities, this is probably the way to go. I look forward to hearing more about this one.
Darcy was in a river making a video when she captured something absolutely terrifying on camera. I did go over Starzy's page and I didn't see anything else that was paranormal on her page, which adds some validity to this video. Just watch.
I'm in the river and I'm having a baptism. Let's just let her go. Oh my god, wait, actually no. But anyways, I'm in the river. I hope there's I keep hearing voices, but I hope there's not a man out here anymore.
Now, it happens really quick, but when they pan their camera back over, it looks like there's a little girl standing behind her, pointing down the river. Now, if you look closely at this figure as well, they almost look blue, like a grayish blue color. Could this be an unfortunate soul that's trapped in this river? And this TikToker just so happened to capture it while they were making their silly video. Let me know your thoughts on this one, and as always, good night.
I'll have to say, the scariest thing out there was the thing that was filming that video. And that was probably just an unfortunate soul that had to witness that. What was that even? Looking back at the video, it's a he, she, they, it. Kinda makes sense now. Well, I think that's enough videos for the day. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end today's video. I'm really sorry it was a short one today. Really seemed like there's a lot of political news going on right now. But hey, at least I got a video up. With that being said, I do want to thank you guys for watching these clips with me. If today's your birthday, happy birthday, and if not, have a good day anyways.